Good morning, students. Hope you are all doing very well. Today we will study chapter 2 of Value Education. So please open your books and come to page number 6. Let's study this chapter called Hats Off to Great Indians. Let's start. Land of our birth, our faith, our pride, for whose dear sake our fathers died. We are talking about our motherland, our beloved nation, India. It is the land of our birth, where we took birth, our faith, and our pride. We are proud of our country. And for India's sake, for the sake of this beloved nation, our forefathers, our heroes, they sacrificed their lives. Hats off to these brave and worthy patriots. Their glory be revered and cherished forever. Revered means admired or respected. Cherished means remembered. So, our dearest fathers who died to save our motherland, they were very brave and they were patriots. They loved their nation the most. Their glory will always be admired, respected, and remembered. The courage and the devotion of our freedom fighters towards their motherland was amazing. They faced all hardships to see the country free. The courage and the devotion, the love, the devotion, and the dedication of our dearest freedom fighters towards our motherland, India, was amazing. They have to face so many struggles and so many hardships and difficulties to set the country free from the British rule. Because of their continuous efforts, India gained independence on 15th August 1947. We are indeed proud of them. Our forefathers, the freedom fighters, had to face a lot of hardships and difficulties, but they did not give up. Because of their dedication and continuous efforts, India was finally declared an independent nation and was no longer under British rule. India was declared independent on 15th of August 1947, and we are all very proud of our forefathers. Some great martyrs of our country. Martyrs are the people who die or who sacrifice their life to protect the motherland. Now we will study about some great martyrs of our beloved nation, India. So firstly we talk about Mahatma Gandhi. The Mahatma, who is the father of our nation, was the architect of India's freedom. His life was dedicated to the ideals of truth, non-violence, and love. Mahatma Gandhi, we all know him very well. He is also called as the father of our nation. He started our freedom struggle. He structured it in a way that India could attain freedom. He dedicated his life to follow the principle of truth, non-violence, and love. He always believed that truth and non-violence are more powerful than any kind of violence and oppression. He led a non-violent movement against the British. His contribution to our country is immense. We fondly remember him as our Bapu. Immense means very much. So he led several non-violent movements and protests against the British Empire. He stuck to his value of non-violence and truth. His contribution towards our freedom struggle is immense, and we owe him so much that we fondly call him Bapu. Next, we study about Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. A prominent leader of the Indian National Congress, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel played a leading role in India's struggle for independence. Prominent means top or very important. Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel was a very strong and important leader of the Indian National Congress, and he made huge contribution towards India's freedom struggle. He took part in Satyagraha in Nagpur led by Mahatma Gandhi. He was also an active participant in the Quit India movement and civil disobedience movement. His brave deeds earned him the title of the Iron Man of India. Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel is fondly called as the Iron Man of India because of his brave deed, dedication, and devotion towards India's independence struggle. He participated actively in Quit India movement as well as civil disobedience movement, both started by Mahatma Gandhi. He was also an active member of Satyagraha, which held in Nagpur, that was also started by Mahatma Gandhi. Because of all his deeds and his active participation, he is fondly remembered as the Iron Man of India. Now we will read about a women patriot, Rani Lakshmibai. She was a brave Indian woman who sacrificed for the sake of the country. Rani Lakshmibai was a brave Indian woman ruler who sacrificed her life for the sake of protecting her motherland. Rani Lakshmibai, the ruler of Jhansi, led her troops to the battle against British in the revolt of 1857. Rani Lakshmibai was the ruler of a small town of Jhansi. She led her troops, her soldiers, to fight a battle against British in the revolt of 1857. She died fighting for her kingdom and is one of the first women martyrs of our country. So this brave woman, Rani Lakshmibai, she died fighting for her kingdom Jhansi, and she is considered to be one of the first women martyrs of India's independence struggle. Next, we read about Bal Gangadhar Tilak. He gave the people a strong cause to fight for independence when he said, "Swaraj is our birthright." Bal Gangadhar Tilak was a prominent freedom fighter, and he said, "Swaraj is our birthright," that we, every one of us, is entitled to have freedom. It is our birthright. He gave these slogans to the people and inspired them to fight for independence. All his life, he worked for India's freedom and development. He established schools and published newspapers. He worked tirelessly to awaken patriotic feelings amongst his fellow men. So our dear Bal Gangadhar Tilak, he worked tirelessly all through his life to make India an independent nation and a developed nation. He established various schools and published various newspapers to make people more educated and aware. He worked continuously to awaken the patriotic feelings, the feeling of patriotism, love and dedication towards motherland among the fellow Indians. Next in the list is Tantia Tope. He was the hero of the revolt of 1857, the first war of independence. He was among the first to raise his voice for the freedom of our country. Tantia Tope was a freedom fighter and a hero of revolt of 1857. That was the first war of freedom, the first freedom struggle India had in the year 1857. He was amongst the first who raised his voice against the injustices done by the British rule and demanded freedom and independence to the country India. The British rulers feared this courageous and mighty general. When he was deceived by his friend, he faced death like a hero. The Britishers were also afraid of the courage and might Tantia Tope had. He was deceived by a friend, but he died like a real hero. Bhagat Singh. He was a fierce patriot and a young revolutionary. His bravery made him a symbol of heroism among the youth of India. Bhagat Singh is a very fond freedom fighter. He was a youth freedom fighter, a patriot and a revolutionary. He was very brave and he was a symbol of heroism among the youth of our country. The youth were specifically very much inspired by Bhagat Singh. He threw a bomb to warn the British government when legislature was in session. So Bhagat Singh, he threw a bomb at the legislative assembly when the legislative assembly or the session was taking place. The bomb was thrown by him to warn or to threaten the British government to leave the country. He was executed by the British government but lives on in the hearts of Indians as a beloved hero. So Bhagat Singh was executed. He was hanged till death by the British government, but till the date he lives in our heart as a hero, as a freedom fighter, and he will continue to live in our hearts forever. Next freedom fighter on the list is Annie Besant. She was born to Irish parents in London but made India her home from November 1893 onwards. She worked for many social reforms. So, Annie Besant was originally born in London and she was born to Irish parents. She came to India in November 1893 and started doing various social reforms work in India. Annie Besant was the founder of Central Hindu College at Varanasi and organized the Indian Home Rule League. Later, she became its president. She died in 1933. So she founded a college called Central Hindu College at Varanasi and she organized Indian Home Rule League and she even became the president of the same. In 1933, she passed away. Next, we talk about Lal Bahadur Shastri. He was the Prime Minister of India from 1964 to 1966. He was imprisoned by the British for nationalist activities. So Lal Bahadur Shastri was the Prime Minister of independent India and he ruled over India for 2 years from 1964 to 1966. During the British rule, he was imprisoned by the British regime for various national activities. When India became free in 1947, he became a minister in Uttar Pradesh. He became the Prime Minister after the death of Jawaharlal Nehru. So he was the second Prime Minister of independent India. He succeeded Jawaharlal Nehru. When India got independence in 1947, he was a minister in Uttar Pradesh government. Students, now we will study about Madam Kama. She was one of the greatest women freedom fighters of India and promoted the cause of Indian freedom struggle outside India. So Madam Kama was one of the greatest freedom fighters India had and she even promoted the cause of Indian freedom. She even demanded Indian freedom and Indian independence outside our country. She was the one who first unfurled India's flag at an international assembly. She left the life of luxury and lived in exile to serve her motherland. So Madam Kama was the first one who unfurled is unfolded or hoisted India's national flag at an international assembly to gain international attention for India's freedom struggle. And she left the life of luxury, all her luxuries and all her comforts, she left it and lived outside country to serve her own country. Next, we talk about Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru struggled for the freedom of India and became the first Prime Minister of Free India. So Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru was a freedom fighter. He fought for Indian independence and when India gained independence in 1947, he became the first Prime Minister of Free India or Independent India. He was also the author of famous book Discovery of India. Pandit Nehru was extremely fond of children who called him Chacha Nehru. So Pandit Nehru wrote a book which is titled Discovery of India. It is a very famous, a very popular book. He also was really fond of small children. He really liked small children and the children used to call him Chacha Nehru. It was under his leadership that India embarked on the planned pattern of economic development. So as he was the first Prime Minister of independent India, it was under his rule, his leadership and his guidance that India started its journey of planned economic development. There were several other great Indians whose contribution towards the country was enormous. Their indomitable spirit still burns brightly in the hearts of all Indians. We salute them. Enormous means very huge, big, and indomitable means unbroken, that cannot be broken. So, children, we read about some of our freedom fighters and leaders who shaped the country the way it is, but there are several others who made huge contribution towards the country. And their spirit, their unbroken spirit, still burns brightly in the hearts of all Indians. They will always be in our hearts, and we salute them. Even after independence, whenever India faced any war or crisis, We have seen heroic martyrs. They have shown deep devotion and pride for their country. So, even after independence, even after we were declared a free nation, whenever our beloved nation India faced any kind of war or any crisis, there were various heroic people who came forward and martyred and sacrificed their life for this beautiful motherland. Their devotion, their dedication, and love for this country is immense. By being good citizens, studying hard, and showing love for other fellow beings, we can all contribute to our country's well being. So, students, by being good citizens, studying hard, whatever we do, we give our 100%, we do our best in that, and we show love and care for our fellow citizens. We can contribute towards our country's development. By being good citizens, by following the rules and regulations, not doing anything that might hurt other citizens, we can contribute our bit towards this wonderful motherland that is India. So, students, I hope you got to learn and know a lot about the freedom fighters and our forefathers who happily sacrificed their lives to the freedom and independence of our country. We are really proud of them and we owe our independence and freedom to these forefathers. We should always love and respect our motherland, our country, India, and be proud of it. Please read the chapter once again.